I do want to point out too is that cloth was wet from last night. It was back in my truck all night. So it was pretty wet with just water when I sprayed that chemical on there. So it's probably being diluted by the water. It's not working as effectively as it should have been.
What kind of cloth is it? Does it matter?
Flannel.
We use flannel, felt.
Flannel or felt?
Yeah, the old boards, they called them felt. They claim to be felt, but this is flannel I buy from the store. You know, I stretch it out over a frame and put aluminum on it. Oh, if you get these boards, normally they come shiny, and it's aluminum. If you want them black to absorb the sun, you have to wash them with vinegar first. Okay, vinegar will etch the aluminum, and then you can actually get the paint to stick to it. Get yourself a flat black, not a gloss black, if you're going to do that. This is probably 6 or 7 years old from when I painted it. It's holding up very well. I did put new material in it this year. It was orange felt we got this year. I thought it looked real pretty. I usually use black or green. You know, whatever's, if they have any on sale, I buy what's on sale. Watch margins. I know what's on sale. David, you're going to have to take this. You're going to probably have to pull your box out of that outer cover on the ground. I'm going to encourage the last 4 or 5 bees out of there just a little bit. I don't like to use a lot of smoke on the honey. I don't want to impart the flavor. Okay. Whole box. Yep. Whole box belongs to you. There you go.
You got bees on the bottom, Dave.
How many?
You got a bunch there, right?
A bunch in there?
Right in the middle.
Oh, it's just sitting on that open honey. Sitting on an open honey.
Where's your brush? Where's your brush?
Smoke me out. Where's your brush?
What do you want to do with it? You can put it back up on there. Put it crisscross. Don't put it straight. Put it crisscross. Now we're going to do bump the brush real quick. You going to grab that brush for me, Dave? It's down the other end there somewhere on that stuff, I think.
It's just at the bottom of it.
You tend to think it's
A little bit.
I'll get them flying around.
Nah, they don't care. They're good. They're good bees. They'll be nice.
A lot nicer than my bees, that's for sure.
We breed them that way.
Yeah,
They won't.
yeah. Dave breeds his for gentlemen.
All right, Dave. Give me that one back. You can have that box now. There may be 7 or 8 bees left in there. You know what? I'll let Dave pull the cover tonight and they'll fly home. This thing I'm taking off right now is called an emery shim. What it does is it allows the bees to come directly into the honey super. Instead of having to go through the front entrance and climb all the way up, they can come through here and go right into the honey super. It's, according to George Emery from Maryland, they fill the honey supers faster.
Huh.
Okay.
Is that versus an auger hole?
I never put auger holes in the honey supers. I only put those in the brood boxes. So, in the sense of having the emery shim, you could put one there, put 2 supers, put another emery shim,
Yeah.
put 2 supers, and theoretically they would go and store honey faster in the supers going that way.
And how much is the emery shim?
Oh,
Couple bucks?
yeah, something like that, 2, 3 bucks. They're not terribly expensive.
Every shim.
Okay. Dave's hive's getting ready for winter, but it's not quite there. This is frame 2, or 8, whatever, 9, whatever you want to look at it. I'll put it back on. this hive's going to need just a little bit of help here. It's not really up to the strength yet.
Is that comb drawn out?
Almost. This side's about half. The other one was doing okay. We can cheat a little bit here and help these finish up. I don't know why they're not really done, but they should be.
They're still drawing that one.
Yeah, this one, they're filling and drawing. They've already started capping some on this one. You know what? If we had pulled honey on Labor Day weekend, this probably would be full now. Because what they've been doing is storing in that other box.
Oh, wow.
Okay? What we have here is exactly what I was hoping
That's
we would
right.
find. Good girls.
Yeah.
Okay? Notice the brood here. It's still hatching. It hasn't finished yet. But this whole section right here is all honey.
Rick, can you turn it just a little bit more perfect? Thank you.
Okay? This section here is all honey. Every
Great.
bit of it.
Great.
There's no place left in there for the queen to lay an egg. We don't want her laying eggs right now in the top box. We want them to fill that full of honey so they have it all set for winter. As soon as these bees hatch out, they're going to finish filling that with honey. They're not going to let her lay any more eggs in this box. At least not on this branch. We'll get this under control. These bees are quickly going to fill up and be absolutely
I know.
ready to go into winter, except for that
And
clump I just
falling.
dropped.
Rick, does it ever happen, I assume, that winter comes and they haven't capped yet?
Oh, that happens all the time.
What happens to the nectar that was put there?
If it's been ripened, it's fine. If it has not been, it's going to ferment, and you're going to have a whole bunch of drunk bees in February.
I'm watching football.
Like there's anything else to do in February, yeah?
But the sad part of all of that is that drunk bees in February means that you're going to have dysentery,
Yeah.
and they're going to get really, really sick, and you don't want that. So we would love to have all of this stuff all capped over and sealed up and ripened at least. Whether it's actually capped or not, as long as it's ripened, that's all we really care about. But we'd love to have it all capped over. Again, classic. The last little tiny bits of brood. Everything in the middle is all honey.
And were you showing earlier that it won't splash out if it's fully ripened?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's what I was
So
showing.
it splashes out, that's what
It
you should be
splashes
concerned
out, you want to be concerned. Because,
You're just making honey out of that for just yourself. It would be okay if there was
no,
some.
that's when you don't want it. If it's splashing out like that, give it back to the bees.
Even if
because-
it's only a small portion of it?
Well, if you go into the honey house and you take and you shake every frame you've got, and all the honey that can be shaken out is shaken out, then what you'll have left is ripe honey, and you can eat that. If you let that unripened honey get into the jar, all of a sudden your jar lid's on the top of the cupboard, and your honey is fermenting and bubbling and creating gases down below. So it'll blow the lid right off of your jar, and it gets very bitter because it's fermenting, it's spoiling. So you don't want to put unripe honey in your jars. Now, with a guy like me, it's different. If you've got 6 hives, and you've got 3 supers on every hive, and 2 supers on every hive are capped over totally, it really doesn't matter what's in that other super. Because what you're going to do is you may dilute it a little bit, but you're still going to be below that 17.5% that we want for our honey. You're below the 18.3 where it ferments. As long as you're below 18.3, your honey's not going to ferment. So you just got to watch how much of that unripe honey you're putting in there. Most of the honey main runs about 17.4 to 17.6. If you're putting 99% of 17.4, 17.6 in there, what matters if it got an 18.6 for another pound? Because it's all going to mix together, and it's all going to wind up being at 17.9, and it won't ferment. But if you get a lot of uncapped honey, and a lot of dilute honey that's not right, then you're apt to get into a situation where you have fermenting
You see
honey.
a picture of Jesus in
Now, in what was I going to say? I lost what I was going to say. There was something I was going to say there. I forgot what it was. Whoops.
Rick, if it's getting time to close up for the winter and you notice that your beets still have it to make sure that?
No,
Okay, so you're,
no. You basically got to leave it all alone and hope for the best at that point in time.
Dave, remember that you're in Rockport, right?
Yeah.
I'm in Thomaston. He's in Bowdenham. David, this is Whitefield.
Yeah.
They're going to have winter here sooner than we are down on the
We'll
coast.
be good.
that's good.
We'll be good for now.
They're still bringing in pollen from the asters at Christmas for me.
Okay.
Now, if
They
you're-
are.
If you're out there, if you're noticing towards fall, towards this time, well, not right now, but give us a week and let us get that frost, or 2 weeks, and let us get that really hard frost where most all of the flowers die. At least the goldenrod is gone. Now start feeding. This hive's probably going to need 3 or 4 buckets of sugar water of the 2-to-1 variety to fill up the last of those frames that are in there. He's got 1, 2, 3, probably 5 frames to do. This one's here is pretty much almost full. Why would that one be full on the number 2 place, but this one be empty on the number 2 place?
Sunny side?
Sun on this side.
Sun on that side, warm side. They started in the middle and went outwards to the warm side of the hive. They did not come to the cold side.